Is there a reason why you don't do full 8 hours?
One is like financial. There's more people that can afford half day than a full day. Two is a lot of times like by hour 6, they start to like struggle. And with like Japanese is a little bit more heavier. I know realism, you can build it up. It's softer and it's I don't think it's as traumatizing. So I know people who do realism, it takes time and I don't think you should rush it and you build it up. Whereas mine's more like traditional. It's like, wow, we're just going
hard
in.
lines,
Hard
saturation,
in, black,
skins.
solid, and so it's like
interesting.
I can cover a lot more ground versus someone doing realism. Like you could do a full forearm in 8 hours, whereas I could do it in 4 or 5.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the ACU Project. My name is Josh. I'm right here with my co-host Ricky Tat.
What's up, man?
And we got a special guest today.
Yeah. Steve.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
What's up, man?
Steve is the owner of Golden Triangle in Upland, right?
Yes, sir.
Want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
What's going on, guys? My name is Steve, and I own Golden Triangle in Upland, California. I've been tattooing since 2010, so like over a decade. Little by little, from the ground up, just trying to grow and be better, and give back to the community as much as, it's given to me.
It's cool, man. So a little backstory of how, we got to know Steve is he came across our Instagram and he had commented on some liked a couple reels, right?
Giving you your props, that love. Saying, like, you guys do great work. I love what you're about. Positive. You're teaching, you're educating, you're sharing, and
yeah. And then fearless. I did as well. I looked in. I'm like, oh, okay. Anytime an artist, likes what we're doing, because that's what we aspire to kind of connect with. I started looking into their content, and right away, dude, like I saw first of all that you're a shop owner, and then right away I saw motivational content on your. Yeah. Aside from the great, big back pieces that you do, Japanese style, right?
Yeah.
I saw that you were about the motivation, about the business. And as I further dived into more of your content, I was like, this guy has a podcast? And I was like, so then I listened to some of them. I didn't listen to all of them, but I
just did your homework. Yeah.
Did my homework, just that, and bro, you're like-minded like us. Yeah. So I had to ask you, and so thank you. We're going to have a great podcast. Let's bring some knowledge. Let's bring some gems to the community here, because we got a lot of artists and a lot of people that are interested in business as well.
Absolutely.
So let's do it, dude.
Let's do it.
You ready or what?
I'm
Nervous?
Ready. Yeah. No, I'm good.
You're
I'm
good?
Ready. Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
Thank you for coming on this rainy day too.
Yeah, the weather, snowing in our area.
So you stay here in Fontana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live in Fontana.
Oh, so did you go to work today and then come back, or?
I took the day off.
Nice.
That's why I was like, what days work? And you guys said Monday, so I was like, let me find a Monday where I'm off. But my schedule, usually I try to stick to a solid schedule, but it bounces around every now and then. Certain days, just by appointment. So it changes.
That's cool, man.
So this day worked out, so we were able to make it happen.
Nice.
Oh, so I was about to say, I thought you were in Upland. I was like, so you got snow over there too?
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. I don't know if it went past that, but we got a little bit of it over there as well. Live in Fontana. I grew up in like Redlands, Highland area. Went to high school out there, and looking around, like we were trying to figure out like where to open a shop back then, and we decided Upland just because it's kind of like central. People from Orange County can get there, people from LA can get there, Riverside, IE, so it's kind of like
the middle ground.
So that's kind of why we picked that area, and then just kind of like all in.
How many years you got tattooing, bro?
I've been tattooing about 12 years now, and then we've had the shop for just hit 10 years.
You got 10 years owning a tattoo shop.
Yeah, 10 years.
Oh, we're going to learn a lot from you today, bro.
Yeah, a lot of growing pains, a lot of learning the wrong way, the hard way, failing multiple times, and, just figuring it out little by little. There's no like smooth one way up, and just, you got to try. You just got to do it,
And you look fairly young, man. How old are you, bro? You don't mind me asking?
36. Yeah, so I started tattooing when I was 23.
23.
So, yeah, my years might be off. I might be tattooing for a little bit more. I don't know, whatever.
You started tattooing at a shop, or?
So I got into it by same thing back then. You know, the information wasn't what it is today.
Yeah.
There's no YouTube. There's no Amazon. Some of my friends were starting to get tattooed. We were doing our research, trying to find stuff. I think MySpace was barely starting to crack off where people could show their work, and you could start to see people from different cities. So a lot of it was word of mouth. And some of my friends started getting tattooed. And I went, you know, just to kind of hang out and see what was going on. And in the back of my head, I was always like, if I knew how to use the equipment, I could probably do a better job than this guy. And that always kind of like stuck with me. I was going to college. I was unsure what I wanted to do, and just doing that because that's what you're supposed to do. And I was like, you know what? Like, let me really figure out how I can do this. I asked some of my friends, who's down to get tattooed if I got some equipment. And I got it from the back of a magazine, just like a cheap, like Chinese kit, $100 full set, you know, like just garbage. And I tried it out, you know, did small stuff, music notes, zodiac signs, stars, and they were decent. So I was like, I need to learn how to do it correctly, and I just need to go all in. And that's kind of like how it snowballed, and I got to into the tattoo world.
So you had an artist background already, like you were drawing, or not really too much?
I've always drew. I'm an only child, so like my parents, you know, like always working, middle class. I would come home from school, you know, this is before internet era, you know, like I would just be TV, do my homework, and then like I would just draw. So since I'm always alone, I always drew, but I never thought anything of it. And I never thought it would amount to anything. And my mom would always say, like, you should do something with art. Like, you're so good at it. Just being a mom. But it was never anything amazing. So I was like, I'm never going to do anything.
What were you into back then?
I drew, like, monsters and animals. It wasn't, like, realism. More like cartoons, illustrative type of stuff. Superheroes, Spider-Man, you know, that kind of stuff. Almost same thing, like tracing it, shading it, and then just putting pictures together, stacking them.
Repetition.
So almost the exact same thing as what we do now. And so it's crazy, you know, like going to school, I was like, there's nothing that stands out to me that I want to do. I'm just going to try to do what makes the most amount of money, and I'm probably going to do something that makes me unhappy. And when the art stuff started coming in, that's when I kind of like pulled her to the side, and I was like, I'm going to go all in with this. I know you want me to get a college degree, but you also want me to do something that's going to make me happy. And you've been technically telling me to do something with art my whole life. And so I was like, I'm going to do something with art. I'm going to try tattooing, and like, just hear me out, you know, like I'm going to go all in. Hear me out. Here's my negotiation. Like, I'm going to go all in this year, and I'm going to make it. And if for any reason I don't make it, I'll go back to school. School will always be there. But like, this is something I want to go all in on and do, and I think I could do a good job. So give me that opportunity, like support me and let me do it. And she was just like, you know what, like you got a year like to figure it out and do it. And if not, like you're going to go get your degree. Never went back, you know, like all in. And, you know, just like old school, like that generation of all our parents, you know, it's like tattoos are for bad people. I don't have any family members that have tattoos. You know, it's like I was the first one, like my entire family with tattoos out of my mom's side, my dad's side. So it's just completely different times and generations. So what they think of tattooing is completely different to what it is now. And now that she sees me as a tattoo artist, it's like she thinks of it differently.
Right.
She's more supportive. She sees like it's a positive influence. It's not just bad people, and like anybody can have them, do them, and you know still be a good person or a professional or you know normal in today's world.
Do they have tattoos now?
No, not yet. Not yet. I've asked them, you know, like get it, but they're like, we'll support you. We'll support you from the distance. You know, like. She hands out business cards. She wears our T-shirts. So, like, she'll see her at, like, the gym or at Stater Brothers. And they're like, hey, what's his name's mom? And she's like, yeah, go get tattooed from him. So, it's like, they're super supportive now. But, of course, like, I think, like, as a parent, you want what's best for your kids. And it's like, you would match that today to, like, your kids saying, like, I want to be a YouTuber. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's real. But it's like, what can be in 10 years, you know? Yeah, like, exactly. It's a completely different world. So, it's like, just try to support them and tell them, you know, like if you want to go all in and do it, it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of camera, it's a lot of in front. Like you got to put in the work. It just doesn't happen overnight. And I think if anybody is consistent and passionate enough about what they want to do, they'll find a way to make it work. Like no one can stop you if you really want something. You know?
I love that, man. Your story resonates like with Josh's because like he was the first person in our family to get a tattoo.
The wild child.
Our family never had tattoos.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like with my family, they supported me too as well from the distance, but they didn't like it.
Yeah.
To the point where I would sneak people into my house and tattoo them while everybody's asleep. Until I got caught, and after that, they're like, "All right, just do it like when we're not here."
Yeah, that's cool. And like even like rewinding back a little more, it's like I started tattooing when I was 23, but when I was 21, I got arrested also. So I got arrested for like sales, and I ended up going to prison. And like same thing, like just being in that environment. I was never gang related or nothing. It's just business, you know.
I got you.
Making money, you know. Like these people want it, these people have it.
Supply and demand.
I'm a middle person, and like same thing with tattoos. Like you want it, I do it. Like let's make it happen. And so like same thing, like going there, it's like a lot of learning, a lot of like what am I gonna do with my life, a lot of self-reflecting on like this is not what I want to do. I'm not trying to come back here, so I need to have a plan in order to succeed. Whereas if I just like go home and just like let's see what happens, it's just a matter of time till you get back in trouble or you're in the wrong environment, you're around the wrong people. So I was like, let's make a plan, let's do this. And if these guys can tattoo pretty amazing with barely nothing,
imagine
same thing, what can I do knowing some sort of art and having professional equipment? And just in that environment, you know, it's like you see some of the most amazing people in prison. And,
so what were some of your challenges starting up? Especially like you said, back then there wasn't that a lot of information, because I remember when we started, we tried to go on YouTube and we're like, we didn't see shit. We started with coils. They got out of tune. We were just kind of messing with it. We didn't know really what to do with it.
I was in the same boat. So it's like I got the tail end of like the old school. I got to experience coils and, you know, regular needles and tuning it and adjusting it and all that type of stuff. That was probably the hardest, learning like how to tune my machines and adjust them. And some days would be like amazing tattoo. Some days would be off. Some days you're like trying to figure it out. So like the first probably 3 to 4 years was all just like guessing, fine tuning, seeing what worked for you, what didn't work, seeing stuff come back healed, and like touching stuff up and just learning through experience and not really having someone to like guide you and say like, this is what you did wrong, da-da-da-da-da. Whereas like nowadays you can kind of like, hey, you did this wrong, use this needle, use this voltage, stay in that area for a little bit longer, make sure it's really packed.
Well, nowadays you can kind of troubleshoot. Like you could see a piece come back, you're like, all right, it looks like this. Go on YouTube. All right, why does it look like this?
Yes.
And they tell you, because your voltage is off, your needles are wrong, and this and that. Yeah. Like for me, when I started, I was using $15 ink, the Sumi ink. We don't know.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
You don't know what's good, what's bad. There's no reviews.
Exactly.
There's like people very secretive. Like every tattoo, like I didn't have any like friends. I didn't know anybody tattoo shop wise. So I was like, who do I ask? How do I learn? How far do I hang out the needle, this or that? Which is why I was like, I need to get an apprenticeship. I need to really like figure it out and make it. If it's serious, if this is my career, I need to go all in. And then I did like about 6 months, just kind of like doing it on my own. And then I got an apprenticeship, and then I like same thing, still figured it out on my own, but just in an environment with like professionals, you know? So it kind of helps speed up the process a little bit.
So 2 years after you open up your shop, did you find yourself doing that whole like, because everybody that opens up a shop, they usually start as especially back then, like a street shop first, and then they gradually change to like a studio shop, and then private shop and all that.
So we did it almost opposite. Like I had an apprenticeship. I did that, and I was telling Ricky, like I ended up getting fired from it, you know, within the first year. There was just like some turnover in the shop. There was just kind of like a shift of people, you know, some of the artists quit, some got fired. So it was just kind of like the environment changed. And moving in, I was like, damn, like I never thought that far past. I was just like, if I can tattoo and I can get into a shop and just try to make $50,000 a year, I'm set for life. Like that's as far as my brain could think at that time. And so when I got fired, I was like back to square one. Like, damn, what do I do? I gotta go back to college. And I was like, no, I'm gonna figure out, like, let's make it work. And I had the clientele, like my same thing, you know, I'm still within like 2 or 3 years of starting. So I was like, I'm not ready to quality wise to own a shop or to run it or do anything. I'm still a beginner. I need to be under somebody, but I had the clientele. And just like looking around, somebody was in a plaza that made clothes, like t-shirts, business cards, and they were like, hey, why don't you, there's a next door that's available if you're still looking, which was the one in Upland. They were like, why don't you come check it out? They're pretty chill and see if it works out. And same thing, it's all about like, what can you bring? And they were like, if your credit's good, if you're not, in debt, like you can handle it, you have first and last month's rent, like we'll entertain the conversation. But you're a tattoo shop, most likely we're not going to want you. And we asked like 4 or 5 places. And, at that time, they were like, no one wants a tattoo shop. You're bad for the plaza. You're going to like hang out. You're a knucklehead. You're going to smoke and drink all day, be there all night. So a lot of people didn't want us. And then that place, they were cool. They were like, yeah, if you're interested, sure, go ahead. And so we just operated strictly private, like almost like a private studio is nowadays. We were just private and appointment only, come and go. And I had like another guy that jumped in with me, and he did it with me for a little bit. And then he ended up like deciding it wasn't for him. He did his own thing. And so I was by myself, just kind of figuring it out. And we just always ran private and like just putting in the work. We always had work, like the quality wasn't there for where like, we want it. It's never there. We always want to be better. Yeah. But I always had work. So it was like, just keep going.
It's interesting that you mentioned that after like 2 or 3 years, you had to realize that you didn't work. It didn't work out where you were at, and now you had to open up your shop, and you had clientele. For all the young artists out there, that's struggling with building clientele, how did you do it? How did you can you give some tips on how you were able to build that clientele? Because it's rare for somebody
absolutely
under 3 years to have like that clientele.
Absolutely. So like a lot of it is just like how you guys are all about experience. Experience from the get makes a big difference. I didn't know that, but I felt like because my quality wasn't there, I had to make sure all my other strengths were there.
Damn.
And when you're learning, like you're never gonna start anything and be amazing at it. When you start, you're always gonna start at the bottom. So it's all about putting in your miles. And I was tattooing people for $20, $50. You want to trade, like I can pick you up, I could drop you off. Like I just want a tattoo to get experience. And if the quality is not going to be as high, you better make sure like everything else checks the boxes. And it's like you're taking care of them. There's a movie on. You're giving them chips and a soda. Like you're having a conversation and you're getting to know them and connect with them. And even though if they leave and they're like, this tattoo didn't come out as good, I still like Steve as a person. And you know what? Like, this is a $50 cat. Like, I can't be mad at it because I got what I paid for.
Exactly.
Like, so I knew he just started. I know what I'm signing up for. I believe in him. He's a good person, and we're going to support it. And little by little, it's like, it just snowballs. And
I think a lesson there that you said is artists, if you always have to, if you want to build more clients like you did, you gotta give more to to your client than they actually gave you in return. So they left feeling like, man, that was only $50, that whole experience.
Yes.
Like I gotta go back to him.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And whether the tattoo was like a little shy of quality, the experience was over the top.
Yeah.
So they felt like now like they got a great deal. And if young artists do that, I mean, that's how they're going to build some clientele.
But it's also like one thing that people don't realize, it's that it's all that work that you talk about, putting that experience. It's a lot harder to build that bridge with your client, right? But it's so easy to burn it down.
Absolutely.
You could do any little thing, just you're off one day, you do it every day, you're off just one day. You just ruin that whole experience with them, and guess what? Now that person goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's important to stay consistent.
The number one thing, like if I was to say, like for any like up and comer, is undercharge and over deliver. Undercharge and over deliver, and you'll never not have work. Yeah. You'll never not have work, and your consistency will build up, and then you'll be able to charge regular. People will start coming to you not because you're the cheapest, but because you're the best. You have quality, you have referrals, and it will build.
And that concept, I want to go deeper into that concept, because this is exactly what we need to talk about. It's not just like the history and all that, but Did you think by you being in the sales part of the hustling part, you think that's where you learned it, or you just had a knack for this kind of thing?
I think it's just like being a good human. You know, at the end of the day, like if this person's going to trust you and take something forever that is doing it, it's like it's kind of almost your obligation to make sure they have a good experience and take care of them as much as they're going to take care of you. And it's always like a favor for a favor. So like you said, not necessarily about like sales and business and like the hustle of like, oh, if you do this, I'll give it to you for 80, but if you do 2, I'll give it to you for 50. Like it's more so just like, if you're trusting me, I'm going to go all in and give you the best that I can give you that day. And in return, like, spread that word, spread the knowledge, refer a friend, help take care of me, and I'll keep taking care of you.
And I guess that's what I was going at, because, you know, whether it's in the hustle or tattooing or selling oranges or whatever the hell
it's all
it
the
is,
same hustle.
It's a relationship you're building.
Yes.
And by you giving them more than what you took, now you have the leverage on them, because now they're going to feel like, oh, man, you know, I came here and I was just, I liked it, you know, for whatever reason, however the transaction was. Yeah, it's not about the money at that time, but that's one thing I realized, you know. I can't be it's subjective to say I'm the best tattooer out there. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell everybody here, you're only as good as that client you have in that moment. So if that client's willing to pay you thousands of dollars, or he's willing to pay you 200, you're only as good as that client right there. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that you can't control, but what you can control is your experience.
Yes.
It should be at 100%, even if you're feeling shitty. I mean, we all have those days, you know, but at the end of the day, it's their time here in the chair, and you have to make that experience like the best, you know, so they feel they want to come back.
You either, like, for every customer you have, you're either going to gain 5 or 10 people, or you're going to lose 5 or 10 people. Like, I'm a big believer in that, because if you do a home run, they're going to tell everybody, they're going to take pictures, they're going to spread it. Look at what I got, and look how much I spent, and they were cool. Everybody was nice. It was clean, like, and the complete opposite. If you're quiet, if you're rude, if you're late, if you're unappreciative, if you feel like it's like, oh, I gotta change the size for you, like, you make them feel uncomfortable, they're not going to come back. And a lot of it's like the body language, the experience, like you said, it's everything. And it's not just the 5-star tat, you know.
And let's be transparent. I've lost clients.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
We all.
I think you have lost clients as well. And then, do you dwell on that? No, you reanalyze.
Learn. Why'd
you lose that client?
Yeah.
You must have failed somewhere.
Yeah.
And we're not here saying that every client you get is gonna be you're gonna give them the best. You know, we're gonna fall short at times. You know, but it's actually like being self-aware why you fell short.
Yeah,
like, and you know, and own it, and being open, and be like, okay, you know, I did come in 2 hours late.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Awareness.
I think it also changes with every client. It's not like
different people.
Like we're saying, like, oh, like give that experience, but you don't have to be cheery and all that with them, because some people come in for therapy, right?
Yeah.
So they just want a nice, relaxed seat. So all you could do is just have an ear out, you know, listen to them. That's a big experience for them as well.
I agree. A lot of it's like feeling the customer out. Like there's some people who just want their headphones and they just want to zone out or watch the movie, and that's cool too. You know, like I'll talk to them, you know, 5-10 minutes, and after that, it's kind of like, do your thing. If you need me, like let me know. I'll check in with you and we'll take a bathroom break. But I try to, like, you know, the first 15 minutes is just interaction. How'd you hear about me? Why'd you pick me? Yeah. Like, what other work do you have? Like, who'd you get it from? Why didn't you go back to them? Like, how'd you find us? Referrals, Yelp, Instagram. Like, it's just learning.
Just a comment, so you can get some data, like you said earlier, right?
Data and understand, and then from there, it's like finding similarities. Like, where did you grow up? Like, you have kids, you have pets. What do you do? And it's like, oh, you find something, a similar ground. You have kids, I have kids. I know how it's chaos. Yeah. Like, you like to go out. I used to like to go out. Now you're older. It's like, I hate going out. Like, you know, it's like you find that common ground to relate, and then you get that laugh, and like you're on the same page. It's almost like a date, you know. Yeah. And it's like you understand each other, and you know, it just kind of works. Yeah. And it becomes deeper.
What I've been realizing lately too is the experience they want is basically the experience that the clients you're getting, kind of like. What you're asking for. For instance, here's my thing. Like, I'm probably the most outspoken one at the shop, right? I'm always like loud. I'm always talking. I'm always talking about business. I'm always talking about Gary V. Shout out to Gary V. They changed my life. And everybody listens to Gary V here, or they'll say the name, and they're like, oh my God, here he goes again. But I'm just proud of that, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like my clients, for the most part, they like that chatter back and forth because I went and looked for those clients.
Yes.
I went and looked for those clients that like to talk about business.
I agree.
I went to, they like family. They like, I mean, I'm not talking about cars because I don't know anything about cars.
Same.
You get me?
Same.
So it's,
you attract what you put out.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like we all can learn to do that. And it's fine. Not every client has to be like bouncing back and forth. You know, there's some clients that just want to just chill, leave me alone. I want this therapy. But we can build our own clientele type of way.
I agree. Like I was kind of talking to you before, it's like what you put out is what you attract. And it's like if you put out, like flashy, you're going to get flashy. True. And if you put out, like I like positive energy, I like to talk about motivation, this is all stuff I talk about and I'm into, then my customers come in already knowing like, hey, I listened to these books. I heard your podcast. I like that motivational stuff you said. I like that, all those things. And now we have like similarities. Same thing. I don't really watch or go deep into sports. So I don't have people talking to me about Super Bowl or, things like that because I don't put that out to where like I'm that fan and that audience. So you get what you put out and you attract what you want.
That's why I get a lot of whiskey drinkers.
Probably.
If you got the videos, let's go. Friday night.
Every other post is him with his whiskey like this, shaking like listen.
Yeah.
I like to try nice whiskeys.
There's nothing wrong with that, It's like it's all in moderation and balance, and it's like if you like that, it's like people might even bring you whiskey as tips. Like you'll get some bottles, you have conversations, and there's people who like learn and appreciate like different flavors of drinks and whiskeys, or like, hey, have you been to this place? So it attracts that audience too.
Now you're talking about it, it's true though, because with my clients, that's what we talk about. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't drink to like get fucked up, but I drink to like enjoy like a nice cup of whiskey. I like to try different ones, flavors. I really am fascinated by the way they make it.
Yeah.
So my clients are the same way.
That's cool.
I think what we're talking about here is just branding, right?
Yeah.
It's really you brand out what you want.
Yes.
And then you're going to get back. So if you're wondering, so artists, think about it. If you're questioning why your clientele is not your ideal client, it's because the way you're branding yourself. Think about it. Think about what you're posting out there and just analyze, go back on your archives on Instagram or TikTok and see what we're about. Yeah. And then you'll see why your clients are coming back. Yeah. One of our artists came to me and he says, Ricky, why do all your clients have businesses? And I'm like, because that's all I'm talking about. I talk about business. I talk about if I see a cool business, I analyze what it's about. Yep. I actually try to go and contact, business owners and, hey, you want a tattoo? Yeah. Right. So through time, I was able to build a strong clientele of business owners. And let me tell you why I decided to go with business owners. First of all, a business owner, I can relate in the principles. We can't relate as far as like if someone's a plumber, like I got a client that's a plumber, really cool people. Yeah. He has his own business as a plumber, I should say. And we talk back and forth of the general stuff. Yes. We can't really talk about the tattooing because there's not,
but the structure, the system.
Yeah. Second of all, I'm like, wait a minute. A business owner tends to have a little bit more discretional income, meaning more income available to him than a person. So if I have a strong base of clientele that own businesses or a business, they're probably a little bit better off than the regular ones, so they can afford the rates that I charge, and therefore they can weather the storm of when low times. So that's why I went that way.
Absolutely.
So if you guys want to do that, start, contacting.
Well, it goes back to like how all these other artists are like posting their Instagrams, what's it called? Like they're tattooing rappers or TikTok people and all that.
It's branding.
Yeah, it's branding because they're trying to get that same type of clientele.
Yeah. I think like, a lot of it's like in the beginning when you first start tattooing, you want to hit all the bells, and it's like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And same thing for myself. It was like, I want to go tattoo out of like different areas. I've been to like a handful of different states and I got to, go tattoo out there. Then I was like, I want to get awards, I got a handful of awards. So it's like, cool, check those off the box. Then same, like I want to tattoo a celebrity. I almost had a couple. They fell out. They went to go get tattooed by other people. It's all good. And it's like just checking off the list, like accomplishments. And by doing that same thing, it's like some people can keep it to themselves and be quiet, or you can share it and promote it. And it's like showing like you're growing, you're building your value, like you're winning awards, you're traveling, you're going out of state. People from out of state are coming in to get tattooed by you guys. So it's like you may just be like a regular tattooer, but to other people, it's like you're growing, you're somebody, you're becoming somebody.
Well, yeah, there's always gonna be people under you looking up to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're living vicarious by you.
Yeah.
Which that in a way can motivate them to kind of try to accomplish those same goals as well.
I agree.
Let me ask you one question. You mentioned the word value.
Yeah.
Do you feel like all your artists at your shop kind of like use that word? Do they know that word as far as, because I feel like value is not used as much, and maybe people don't understand the word. And if we know it a little bit better in our own terms, we'd understand how to approach content better and get clients.
We may use the word without even knowing. Just kind of like just conversations, like energy. Like we have positive energy at our shop. We don't really have drama. Everybody's like kind of on the same page, on those same waves. So we don't like use that word like
I just
on purpose. Yes, yeah, we don't say it like that, but I think we understand it in a sense where we do it without even knowing. Like when, at the end of the day, we're like, dude, they were so happy, they tipped me this amount, and like I did that. I bought homeboy lunch. We were laughing. We put on movies. Like we had a good time. He booked up he just wanted one tat. Now he's gonna do his whole sleeve. It's like you, without knowing, you brought him value.
So well, that's perfect, because you don't want to do it just because you want to do it. You know what I mean? You want to do it unknowingly.
It naturally happens.
Naturally happening. I think that's more genuine, and people see that better.
It's almost like dating. It's like it naturally, like you fall in deeper than you, like it's always like we're just friends, and then you fall into a deeper natural way.
So at the shop here, we always preach like, well, preach is not a word, but we'd always motivate them or us as well to be, customer experience should be number one, tattoo should be number two, and always bring value to people,
I agree.
What kind of like, what's your motto at your shop?
We almost do the exact same thing. Like I tell everybody, like there's so many amazing artists out there. Like you're always going to compete as far as quality, and there's always going to be someone like better than you and below you that's up and coming. So it's like, what more can you give besides that amazing tat? And like you guys say, it's all about giving them a good experience, taking care of them, making them a priority. And we always use the analogy at the shop. It's like a restaurant. No matter how good the restaurant is, if your appointment to go eat is at 6 and they're like, hey, we can't seat you till 6:45, it doesn't matter how good the food is. Are you going to keep going back to that restaurant? And if it happens 2 times, 3 times, you're going to go somewhere else. You're going to start looking somewhere else. And the same thing goes for the waiter or the waitress. If the food is amazing, but they treat you like shit, you're going to start looking elsewhere. And it's like, the food's great, but, I can go down the street and get these bomb-ass tacos over here for, just as better, if not, and people are going to start looking elsewhere. So I always say, don't give them a reason to look elsewhere or talk shit if they leave the shop. Take care of them, and they'll take care of you.
Bam. I like that.
Yeah.
Perfectly said, bro. Sounds like you had a podcast or something. Talk about this.
Take care of them, and they will take care of you.
So talk about a little bit about your podcast. You started when, what is it called?
COVID. So during COVID, 2020, had a little extra time. I'm all about, positive energy and just helping, to the point where you get to that point where you help yourself and you start to see progress. And so you want to help other people. And that's where I was at. I want to help people because I'm doing good, and I'm a nobody. There's nothing special about me. It's just I put in the work, and that's like always my message. I put in the work. I'm not bragging. I just put in the work and I show it, and I try to be better. And if I could do it, you could do it. And so I started, giving my energy out to my friends, family, other artists, and it's like when they don't do it, it's discouraging because now they're not getting the results, and you want what's best for these people. So instead of just singling everybody out and giving them all one-on-one time, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make a podcast, and the knowledge is there for whoever wants to consume it. You're going through relationship problems? Go to my podcast. You want to make more money? Go to my podcast. You want a side hustle? Check it out. It's there. So you can't say the knowledge isn't there. The one-on-one with me isn't there. It's there. And so I did it during 2020, figured it all out.
What's the name of it?
The Golden State of Mind.
The Golden State of Mind. Where can we find that? So
that's a good name.
All platforms, Golden State of Mind. It's like our theme is gold, solid, 100, like everything is golden, like and, so it's like, it's all about state of mind. If you want something to change in your life, it starts with your mindset, and everything kind of follows. Your actions follow your mindset. Mm-hmm. And so just golden state of mind, it's a mixture of all balance, like money, relationships, health, physical and mental, financial, education, tips for tattooing, like, stuff like this, experience and helping out and growing and just putting it out there, just, figuring things out as I went. I didn't know anybody who did podcasts. So I was just like, I'm going to Google some stuff, I'm going to YouTube some stuff and just kind of wing it. And you'll hear it. And it's like, if you ever take the time to listen to it, it goes from bad to okay to better to, hopefully good. And you like learn in the process, and it's just me giving out information to help others.
That's dope, bro.
That's good, because I feel like this industry needs a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Especially this industry being so mind drained or like mentally draining.
Absolutely.
Right. It's easy to get out of whack, especially in your head. Mm-hmm. Fall into habits you don't want to fall into. So just having that little positive feedback, I think is really beneficial for other artists.
Yeah.
How much do you think is out there as far as like percentage of people? I'm always like thinking about numbers, right? So, there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of tattoo shops, there's a lot of companies that that are building their company out of us.
Yeah.
Tattoo machines, inks, whatever. Mm-hmm. What do you think, in your years, how much percentage of people are giving back the knowledge to the whole industry, do you think?
I think a lot of people are old. I feel like the older generation, they were taught, like, don't share knowledge, right. Mm-hmm. Keep it a secret. And as the time goes on, it's starting to become more and more easier to obtain, to the point where it's like, you have like tattoo schools now that do it, which is like almost too much, like there's a line, where it's like helping and like overboard. But I think probably like 70% of people don't help. At least 70%.
Do you think that if you would have stayed in that shop that you were at first longer, because I'm guessing they had that same traditional mentality, your mindset would be the same right now, or would have been different?
I don't think I would be where I'm at today. Yeah. And I don't think like hardships, shape people. And I don't think
your environment too, especially that.
I think like, I probably would have worked there, maybe it would have gotten better, or maybe I would have just been unhappy, to the point where I did get fired just later on and had to figure it out or jump into another shop or, find a way. But, it's just kind of like using what you have, your resources. And, if you're in survival mode, you're going to figure it out, one way or another. And that's kind of like where I was at, just trying to survive and not go back to school, It's like to the beginning. So, yeah, it's like all the hardships kind of like shape you and form you to get you to where you are today. And like I wasn't like this in the beginning. I just slowly, like 1% better. Like, oh, this didn't work. What can I troubleshoot? This didn't work. How can I improve? Okay, I fixed it. Now this doesn't work. How can I improve? Okay, I fixed it. And next thing you know, it's like it's been 10 years.
It's never ending, huh?
Yeah. It's fun though.
Yeah. Going back to that question I asked, you said about 30% people.
30%.
So 30% that are. I would argue it'd be a lot less.
Maybe
I'd say like 5%, 10%, because the only reason why we know is because we search for it. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And we're in the mix of it.
Very true.
And I think in the next 10 years, you're gonna see the rise of education being. You're seeing it now, but in the next 10 years, you're going to see the rise of education and opening up everything in the industry and sharing it with people. There's going to be masterminds. There's going to be business mentors. There's going to be more schools. There's going to be academies. Like you're seeing it grow, right?
Yeah.
But I think we're just in the beginning, dude. And that's why I think like podcasts are going to go,
I agree.
they're going to just blow up. And we're just like in the in the beginnings of this whole craziness, you know?
I agree. Yeah.
So
I agree.
it's exciting. It's exciting times, you know?
It always, 5-10 years, you always see the shift, just like when we started, it's completely different now. And now it's like you start to see the change in what's up and coming and what's about to be, and it's like trying to predict the forecast of like where will it be in a few years from now versus, even more.
So let's continue on this business because you have a lot of behind the scenes, man. Doing podcast, bro.
Yeah.
We should have a podcast about the behind the scenes. It would be dope.
Yeah.
So you're a shop owner in Upland, California, and you have almost 15. Oh, you said correctly.
Yeah, we got 15.
Artists,
I think 15, right? 16. 15 artists.
What is one of the toughest jobs as a shop owner with 15 artists?
So you are just off the top of your head. That's already a big shop, a very big shop. Very big. So it's you already can imagine.
We're 7 here.
Yeah,
7. So
and that's a big shop too. 7's a big shop, and it's like,
man, you're running it by yourself though.
Yeah, and it's like dope. I do everything on my own for the most part.
What's one of the biggest challenges you have?
It's just making sure everybody one-on-one and have like that relationship to make sure like you are of value to them and they are of value to you. Like that's big for me. Value, that's big to me. And it's like it's a two-way relationship. So I tell everyone like starting like, what can we do for each other? I want to be better and do better, and I want you to be better and do better. And this is like my vision of the shop. I want to have the best shop, and I think it's possible that we can do that together. Like, are you on the same page with me? And usually it's like it's a yes or a no. And it's just all about teamwork, and just making sure and take care of all your people. And it falls back to that. Like, if you take care of your workers, your artists, they will take care of you. So I'm big on that, instead of just the, like, what can the shop do for me? And, like, give me 6 months or a year, make me famous, and I'm out. Right. I don't need you no more. I'm big on, like, we take care of each other. And it's deeper than that.
I like that you said you want to be the best shop. I feel like it, if you really want to, how should I word this? I like that you're bold in saying that because I say that here. I tell everybody we want to be the best shop.
We can both be,
and we can both be. You know what I'm saying? And we can both be the best without even hurting each other. You know what I'm saying? Like Gary Vee says. He says that. I'm telling you, I love Gary Vee.
We could all be millionaires.
we could all be the whole thing of abundance. You know what I'm saying? But we need to have that mindset that we want to be the best.
Yes.
Otherwise. And I've been hearing the contradiction of that, saying why you want to say that statement. Well, when you start something, don't you want to be the best?
Why start?
You want to achieve to be the top. And the simple idea of stating, I want to be the best is not bad, dude.
Yeah,
you agree. Have to have that kind of bold, aggressional type of like feeling.
Yes. So
that you can compete and not stay, not conform. You know what I'm saying? So I like that you say that.
It's like we want to be the best, and it's like we have to put in the work. Our actions is gonna speak. 5 years from now, we'll see. Was it just talk or is it action? And you can't fake it. It's like you're either gonna do it or you're not. And if someone challenges us and wants it, like that's great because pressure builds. Pressure builds diamonds.
I like that. And let's analyze that. What does being the best mean?
Exactly. And then that goes, and
that's just the general idea. To me,
it's like boom.
To be the best, that means your shop has to show that it's actually doing positive things. You have great artists producing great work. There's great reviews about it, and to dig deeper into that, what does that mean? That means the owner has to have a clear vision or owners of what the shop needs to be. And if you see one of those deterring from that vision, then you have to talk to them and be like, hey, man, this is our vision. We want to be the best. You're being weak in our mission, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work behind that. So for you to say, I want to be the best is a very bold statement that I like to hear from shop owners because that means, all right, man, this guy's working.
Serious. Yeah.
He's working just as hard as me and or me and Josh.
7 days. Doesn't stop.
To put their name out there. You know what I'm saying? And the beauty of it is we can work just as hard. We can work, if not harder or less, it doesn't matter, but we can be equally working as hard.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is you won't suffer financially. We won't either, because there's plenty of it, dude.
Yeah.
What do we say early behind the cameras, man? Like
abundance.
If we abundance mindset, if we calculated how many people can you really tattoo? I mean, you can tattoo more people than us because you have 50 people, right?
Yeah.
So you're doubling it, but there's millions of people in this Inland Empire.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted you on the shop today, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, at the podcast, because we're not afraid of the competition. We welcome competition. You're a good competition for us, because now I'm curious about your shop.
Positive peer pressure.
And if competition improves.
Yeah, we want to improve the industry, so we need that competition. And now I know a guy that can do Japanese. So if I get a client that wants full Japanese, I'm gonna be like, dude, I'll do it. But let me tell you about this one guy that I just met, and he's just killing it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And there's room enough for everybody, dude. And I think you'll have a better client if he says, this guy just showed me to another shop.
I've done that.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
All the time. Even like before we had the amount of people we did, when it was like just me, and then it turned into like 3 and then into 5. Same thing. It's like, if these guys all do this, I do this, and someone will come in, you know, for watercolor or biomech, and it's like, we could do it, but just to let you know, like, no one specializes. If you want like someone who specializes it, this is like A, B, and C, they're in this town. Or even like, let us know what are you looking for to spend. Like, I'll give you the average guy, I'll give you the famous guy, and then I'll give you like you know, and that's on you, you know, like, what are you trying to accomplish? And same thing, they'll say the exact same thing, like, wow, you took the time to actually help me, even though you're not making any money. Like, that shows a lot.
Well, it goes back to giving the value.
Yes. And same thing, it's like, you may not have tattooed me, but I know your shop is legit and you guys actually care. And at the end of the day, it's like, you do business for money, but at the same time, you're not chasing the money. You're chasing the passion. You're chasing like what you care about, and you're just showing up every day and doing what you're supposed to do. And the other stuff will come. It will follow, you know?
And I'm pretty sure you do it at your shop in the inner workings as well, right? If you like how we do it here, if a client walks in and you say, do you have somebody in mind? No, I don't. Okay, well, look, this artist is specialized, he's great at this guy does this, and then we share it. We don't all take it all to ourselves, because we all want to grow. You know what I'm saying?
And what's cool with our shop is the same thing. When we specifically hired, like when I was looking for people, I looked for different styles, so that we're not just like a specialty shop, you know, all black and gray or all Japanese. And like, that's dope as fuck. But I wanted variety, just so we can take care of everybody and not close the doors. So it's like, we have a fine line person, we have an anime person, we have a Japanese, we have black and gray, we have color realism, we have Gothic, we have neo tradition. You know, it's like, we have one for everybody.
You have every freaking category. 15 artists.
Yeah, we'll put you with the right person. You know,
yeah, patchwork artist. It's a thing we talk about.
No, we'll put you with the right person. You know, so it's like, we want to take care of you, and then it's like, almost everyone at the shop can do everything too, because they come from that learn everything. So everyone can pretty much do it all, but they all specialize in something as well.
It's pretty cool though too, because you put all those in one area. Now they're all learning from each other.
Yeah. So we take strengths from one another. Like, oh, you do amazing texture, I can apply that with, you know, my Japanese. Oh, my Japanese has like crazy composition, I can apply that in my realism. Your realism smooth, I could apply that in my color. And it's like, we all just take the strengths and weaknesses from one another, and we just kind of learn. And, you know, you would think with the amount of people, there'd be like a lot of drama and shit talking, but it's like, when everyone's like an A player, and like, it's good energy. And we don't allow like negative energy. We don't shit talk each other when like someone's not at work. We all speak highly of each other, because everyone is handling their business. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So it's like, there's no reason to hate.
So one thing I wanted to ask you is, like, with so many artists, and you say you're hiring more, how do you choose who you want to let in to work with you?
So a lot of it's like looking, you know, of course, like you look at portfolios, you look at how good people are, and their portfolio is usually like the looks, you know, if you like compare it with dating, it's like, cool, you're attractive, I like what I see, I'm interested. And then it's going there and seeing, like, asking them if, you know, it's hard to hire because you don't know where people are and things like that. So I always come in like respectively. I'm like, hey, I don't know if you're working at a shop. I don't know if you're private. I don't know if you're happy, if you hate your life. All due respect, you do amazing work. If interested, we have a spot. you're welcome to just come chat and talk, nothing crazy. And if it sounds good, we can have a conversation. And if not, like, no hard feelings, keep killing it. I wish you the best. If it never works out, like, you could always hit us up. And if not, like, you do great work.
So you're recruiting.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Nice. Sometimes they come to me. Sometimes they like us too, and they're like, hey, I love everything you're about, and they do the same thing. And then from there, it's like, we talk, we do the interview, we chat to just see if we're compatible. I tell them, this is like what we're about. This is how we operate. You're welcome to do a guest spot just to see if you like it. If it's not for you, no hard feelings. And, we go from there. And if someone is to decide to, like, yeah, let's work together. Like, I like what I see. I like what you're about. I see you're about growth and positivity. I need that in my life. I'm trying to be around that type of stuff. Then, we do like a 90 days. I'm like, try it out, 90 days. We'll see if we're compatible or not. And in that time, I think it's enough time to really get to know a person. You sit with them every day, every week. You're eating with them, you're conversating with them. So you see their habits. You see, are they clean or dirty? Are they on time? Are they late? Do they care? Are they in a rush? Do they go the extra mile? Are they willing to help with the small things, or are they just in it for themselves? We do like a report card, and check with everybody. Like, hey, what do you think about the new guy? Like, is he a good fit? Is he off? Is he, like, when I'm not around, is he different? Right. Like, everyone's different in front of me. But when I'm out of here, I'm going home. Like, does the shop change? Like, is it like shit talking? Is there negativity? And we're able to know, like, by then, like, is this person a good fit or not? And we've had people who weren't a good fit, and it's like, no hard feelings. Hey, you do great work. We're just not on the same page. I don't think this is the best shop for you. You'll probably find a better shop out there. No hard feelings. Keep killing it. Everybody's different. We've had people, like, literally move into our shop 2 months in and, like, come in the middle of the night, pack all their shit and leave. And then it's like, real? Hey, what's up, bro? Are you coming? Yeah. Are you coming back to work? Like, I don't want to assume you're not coming, right. But, like, maybe. What's up? Yeah. Are you going on?
Your frame is down.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's crazy. You never know what you're going to get, and it's like, you open the door for somebody and, like, welcome arms. At least you could be like, hey, it's not a good fit, and like, you don't have to hate each other. It's just like, we're not compatible, like, there's probably a better shop out there for you. Yeah. There's no negative talk.
It's like, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's crazy, dude.
We just try things out, and we try, same thing like with our clients, we do with our artists. I'm trying to not give you a reason to talk shit about us, and I do what I can in my ability to give you a healthy environment with everything that you need so that you can grow, be independent, reach, whatever financial, art-wise, living conditions, like, whatever you want. Like, how can we help you accomplish that? Do you see us being able to help you? Because obviously, if you're here talking to me, you see that there is some sort of possibility we could help each other. And, at the end of the day, it's just all about respect, and, it's a relationship. We just want to help each other.
Bro, I like how you're so concise on all this thinking. Again, I think that podcast has helped you,
communicate.
Yeah, communicate. Yeah. And speaking about communication, how do you guys approach, and maybe you can talk to all the viewers, how do you guys approach the social media aspect of the tattoo industry, like how, marketing, branding, and all that stuff?
So we have, like, our debates, typical shop talk, where we're just like, the smiley face got 1 million likes, and this portrait that I did all day got 100. Yeah. And it's like, logically it doesn't make sense. But then it's like, you have to understand, like, human nature and, like, how people think. And it's like, people don't buy stuff off of logic. A lot of people buy stuff off of emotion. And if you're looking at this person that gets all this interaction, it's mostly just branding. And, it's like, we can go on TV tomorrow, and now it's like, we're in a commercial, we're the hottest shop in town. It has nothing to do with our skills. It's just marketing.
Eyeballs, attention.
And so we have these conversations, and I tell them, it's like, share your story, get people to like you for more than just your portfolio. Have them emotionally attached to you. If I look at someone's Instagram, I should have an emotion. Yeah. Just like when you looked at me, you chose me because you saw motivation, hard work, driven. If it was just pictures of tattoos doing Japanese, you would never know.
I wouldn't even know how you look. You know
exactly. And so I tell them share all that stuff. Not all of them do, and I tell them like it's positive pressure. Like at your own time, you'll do it when you want to, but it's my job to push you to be great.
I like that.
I'm not forcing you to, but I'm gonna encourage it. And you may be uncomfortable to be on camera.
Do you see a correlation between high earners in your shop and high activity in social media?
Yes.
Bam.
Yes.
And guys, he has 15 artists, so he's definitely
so you see the data. You see the data, and it's like regardless if you like social media or not, if you're about it or not, even if you don't want to show your face and you just want to show your work, you still got to put in that work because that's like today's business card.
Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Social media is today's business card. And imagine if you don't even have an Instagram. Like, that's the first thing people ask for, or like maybe a TikTok nowadays. Yeah. And if you don't have that, like, how are people going to do research on you? And like we talked about, it's all about research. It's a referral. Hey, I like your work. I saw it in person. Then it goes to like, what's his name? I do my research. If I want to go deeper and read about it, I'll go to a Yelp and I'll read the reviews. And it's like, okay, this is the one. These are the guys. They're the best.
Well, I think that's why right now it's very important to get as much or get it into as many platforms as you can. Yeah. So, because like you said, when you get someone's name, first thing you do is Google.
Yeah.
Well, when you Google that person, well, what's going to come under your name? Like a lot of people don't think about this.
Yes.
You should have that Instagram. You should have that YouTube, maybe even a LinkedIn, you know, kind of go like that where people have options to read through.
Absolutely.
What actually happened to me recently with that guy that came from New York, remember? Someone gave him someone else's name that had the same name as Josh.
Oh, yeah.
But my name, so he just put Josh Fontana. But all my things came out first just because I have that presence online.
Got it. That's dope. Yeah, it makes a difference.
And he liked his work better, so he said, forget that other guy. You know? But it took that other guy to mention a Josh, so he had not the presence of social media, he wouldn't have gotten that gig.
And I think, like, especially right now, a lot of people, like, they're so caught up on the numbers. Like, I need to have high numbers in order to make a difference. And it's like, for me, I don't have that many. To me, I'm a small fish. Like, I'm a nobody. But it's like, if I'm a nobody and I'm able to operate on the level I am, like, you don't have to have 20, 50, 80, 100. You don't have to be killing it. Like, you can have a solid 2,000 or 3,000 people. And like we said, how many people can you actually tat? Like, if you have that small core army that supports you and is down for you, it's just consistency.
So you think it's more of it's volume instead of quality, or like, what is it, quantity over it's quality, or the other way around?
I think with social media, 100% it's quantity, because your video is just as good as your next video. If you spent all day, 150 whatever amount of money, like making it to be the best video ever, it's forgotten in a day.
Yeah, I agree.
You just got to keep pumping it out. And it's just like, perfect example, McDonald's. McDonald's is like the #1 fast food. They don't need to do commercials, but you still see commercials, bus stops, back of anything, you know, like it burns into your brain.
Like what you said, like nowadays, if they stop doing that, they're also can get forgotten.
They can get forgotten. Yeah. And so I say that with like my artists, even though it may not be something you like, if it's slower or it's not as busy, like, just keep putting your work out there, you know, at least in your story. If it's something you don't love, you're like, like, you know, we always like, it's not I don't want to post this. Put it in your story. At least give them content to see. So now it's like, I want to get a tattoo. Oh, well, Steve is always posting. He's the first person I think of. Just like if you were to say like, hey, I need a plumber. Who are you going to call? Like, who is the last person you saw? And if this guy keeps posting, I do plumbing. I'm your local
tips
plumber.
And tricks.
You're gonna remember him.
Dancing like with
even
plumbing tools.
Even if they don't like it, they see it. Even if they don't interact, they see it.
So I had a conversation. I want to go back to the part where you said digital media is the new business card. I had a conversation with one of our artists yesterday, and I gave him this analogy. I said, you know, he's sitting in the couch in the back and he's chilling, and I go, you know, obviously he's a newer artist, so he's trying to build up his clientele, right? And I said, look, the shop can only do as much for you. You got to get out there. And I said, how do you use your Instagram? I said. And he said, well, you know, I post some pictures and then I post some stories and I just see what hits. But, you know, see if I get any leads. I talk to them. I give them pricing. I said, cool. I said, if you didn't have an Instagram, what would you do?
Yeah.
And he kind of like looked like, what do you mean? No Instagram? So I'm trying to give him an example, right? I said, if you didn't have an Instagram, you would have to do what? And he says, well, probably, you know, go to art shows, you know, go to gas stations. Yeah. And what would you give them?
Yeah, you hustle.
A business card, right? And I said, yeah, you would give them a business card. Now, why don't you do that tomorrow? Go tomorrow and pass out business cards, right? Go wherever you think they want tattoos and pass out business cards. I said, why don't you do it today after? How long do you think it'll take you to reach 20 people?
Yeah.
And he said, well, probably like 4 hours. I said, you know what? Let me show you on Instagram how to reach 20 people in less than a minute.
Yep.
And he goes, what do you mean? So I was eating, right? He's on the couch. I'm going to get off the couch, come over here. And I showed him places. I said, click on Fontana.
Yeah.
Click on Fontana, put places. Everybody that is popping up, purposely put Fontana as a location. So you know they're local to here.
I agree.
Right? Secondly, I said, look at their pages. Some of them might be private. Some of them are public. Go to the public ones. Analyze their page. If they're open, you can see a little bit of something. And he goes, yeah, but I feel like that's stalking. I'm like, see, that's the problem. The mindset. You're thinking that you're stalking somebody by going into their page. They purposely put it out public, so you want to be seen.
Like cold calling.
You know? Exactly. So then I said, okay, look. And I showed him one example of this one dude. He was in front of his Acura. I said, go in there and say, nice Acura, bro. What year is it? That's it. Don't go in there and say, bro, I'm a tattooer. You want to get tattooed right now? Let's go. No.
Just throw the bait.
Throw the bait. Yeah. Then we followed a little bit more, and he was without his shirt, and he had a tattoo on his chest. Boom. He just gave you information that he likes tattoos and he likes cars.
I agree.
So just like his picture. There's no homo status, nothing on that. You just like the picture, right? And just say, bro, that's a cool tat. What is it?
Bring awareness.
That's it. Bring awareness to yourself. Do that.
I agree.
He looked at me like, I didn't know this existed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do that 20 times a day. You just gave 20 business cards in your 10-minute, break.
I agree 100%.
So yes, it's a digital business card, man. And we don't use it to, that's why we're teaching this. And I mean, now that people listen to this, I hope you guys use that tip, because that's how I grew some of my following.
But it goes back to, like you said, the mindset. And I think it's the social pressures of how you said people think they're stalking someone. Yeah. Right. Or, oh, what are they going to say? Like when I'm just commenting on someone randomly.
Yeah, I think the word is lurking or something. Yeah, right?
Lurking.
You're lurking.
Yep. So it's the social pressures that you get from other people. So again, it goes back to the environment you're in, the people you're hanging out with, and the mindset you're at.
Yeah. So
well, that's why we constantly tell them, do this, do that. So the first time he heard it, okay, it's going to be a little weird. Not sure I'll do that. The second time I remind him of it, he'd be like, oh, he did say something like that. And I kind of did. And I said, watch till that guy comes in, the one that you contacted, and he gets a tap from you. You're going to be like, what the fuck?
So a tip we do, so this is something you can share. Like a tip we
do.
Tip,
bro. This is
like a hashtag tip. So I tell everybody that doesn't is struggling, with it. Same thing, like hashtags make a difference. People can find you. And when you're asking hey, how'd you hear about me? And they say hashtags, it works. So one of the tips I teach everybody is do the hashtags that are in your surrounding cities. So our cities is like Rialto Tattoo Shop, Fontana Tattoo Shops, Fontana Tattoo Artists, and do that with all the cities. And so now when people are looking that stuff up, because people Google or people look on hashtags, they're going to find the shops and they're going to see all these portfolios of you guys, us, all these people. Correct. And now it's like they get to pick and you put yourself in their radar. And it's crazy enough. If you keep doing that, imagine I have 15 people. If all 15 of us did that every day and we posted every day, the word Fontana Tattoos hashtag is going to be our portfolio of our shop page. Exactly. And now we took over. So we win by default because no one else is doing it.
That's a good hack. I like that.
And if you just put the word tattoo, there's this guy in New York that likes your tattoo. Is he going to come get work?
Exactly.
Probably not. Or someone in Russia or in Australia. So having the very vague tattoo words or hashtags like Virgin Mary, it's not going to do anything.
No, you got to be more niche.
But we're looking for customers and people that are actually going to buy and want to get it. So when we put our local areas, they come to us now.
That also goes down when we do. I mean, I don't know if you do Instagram ads. We run Instagram ads for here, and
same.
You know, it matters. You don't want to just technically send that ad all over the U.S. because odds are they might not fly to you because they don't have that connection with you. But if you go and you do a radius of like 15, 20 miles and they get that ad, you're like most likely to get those targets. Instagram is like the best to target, dude.
Yes, we have those conversations too where same thing, where like, do you want to pay money to do an ad or not? And for all the people that complain about Instagram, it's free. So who complains the most? The people that get shit for free. Yeah. Just like our customers. The cheapest tattoos have the most complaints. But if you're paying, and it's like, you should be willing to put in to your craft and your marketing and stuff like that. So it's like, if I have to put $50 or $100 to share my work, as long as I get one person, like one person's going to pay that and some. And then you'll probably get like 5 or 10 people who follow you that are local, who are just waiting to pull the trigger. They just want to watch and do a little bit of research. And then they'll say like, I've been watching you for the past 6 months or a year. You do great work. Like, I'm finally ready, you know? So it's like, ads make a big difference.
Yeah, they do.
Especially in today's like Instagram. It's been a lot different, you know, compared to before. Like, it's all about, you gotta buy it now.
That used to be a big topic before with a bunch of artists we used to have about Instagram and paying ads.
Yeah, we let go some of them because we just, again, we learned. So our theory was, we opened the shop. We need to fill up these. We had 6 spaces back then. We fill 4 spaces. Let's just hire artists.
Whoever
so we hired artists. We didn't vet them they were, if they were like-minded like us. And so that's how we had battles with them. And I got a couple of gray hairs with a couple of them because they were just like, I was like, how do you even think this?
It's not on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. So now when we do let artists in with us, they have to have some like-minded stuff, you know? Yeah. And I go back to that business card, dude, like I personally think, you know, an artist should reinvest at least 10% of their earnings per month into ads so that that Instagram is automatically passing out business cards.
Some sort of promotion.
You know what I'm saying? It's just some kind of promotion. It's just every business that's profitable and is doing good has a good promo type of strategy, I guess you could say.
I agree 100%. So, and if you think about like people who like put it on Instagram, that's like the #1 place people are on their phones. You could do business cards. You could put it on, you know, like flyers. You can go door to door, like put them on cars. You could do all kinds of stuff. You can pay to like put it like billboards. You know, it's like you got to find what works for you. And
and our nowadays, most of those,
it's all we're on our phones. So it's like that's the best place.
And let's go into a little bit more because this is a big topic we talk about lately: mindset. And you've been talking about it on your podcast. You show it on your Instagram. Let's go deep into that, man. Let's analyze it. Why do you think artists hesitate to pay for ads or hesitate to be heavily on Instagram, giving a lot of content?
I think maybe a lot of it is, it's either like laziness or like fear of spending, almost like penny pinching. Like you're scared to spend money, but you have to spend money to make money. Right. You know, sometimes it's like you have to spend, like, why are we all not just tattooing in a house? Yeah. You know, it's like you have to spend money to make money. And even like I share with all my artists is like, this shit's not free. Like the bills, the permits, the paperwork, like
insurance,
everything. Like it's not free. And you act like I'm just pocketing this and living like the best life. Like there's a lot of bills. There's a lot of responsibilities. We got to keep up with supplies and like, it's a lot of work, and that takes away from everything.
I never realized, sorry to interrupt, but I never realized how much blue towels go away. You guys use blue towels? To wipe the shop towels? Mm-hmm. I don't realize how fast they go when you're actually paying for them.
It's like,
but before,
they drink
you know,
them. Mm-hmm. You drink
I'm like, God damn, man, we just ordered 2 boxes, you know?
Exactly. And so, I think like a lot of it's like fear of spending the money. You know, it's kind of like, fear of spending the money. I think it's do you
think it's because they don't believe that it could actually work? Because if you just said, hey, because I've thought about doing this. I'm like, look, I'm going to spend $100 for you and run this ad for you. And then
try it out.
Why? And if we show them that it works, why do you think they don't want to do it? You know?
I feel like it's still the spending. Like you're scared to spend on yourself. You're scared to invest. You're scared to invest. You don't have enough trust to believe that it's gonna work.
So maybe
I think it goes deeper than that. I think it's like people don't have the like they don't think they're good enough to be their work be shown out there.
Could be that too. A lot of artists are like very insecure.
Yeah.
Myself, everybody, you know, it's like if you hate your work, you're an artist. You know, it's like, and I think a lot of people are like that. Like I'll look at your shit and be like, damn, it's amazing, but you might be like, I'm not gonna post it. I could have did better. So a lot of it's like just that self, like everything has to be perfect, perfection, and there's no such thing. Just put it out there. Someone out, our standards are a lot higher than the average person.
Yeah.
You know, like you might hate just the Virgin Mary you did, but to that customer, like they never seen the most amazing, tattoo ever. Whereas you can name 10 people who could do a better job, but to that regular person, it's the fucking world.
They don't look at the details we look at.
Bro, we look at it deep. We look at it deep, and they're just like, "This is amazing.
Yeah,
how do you do this? You're blessed from God." And it's like,
and we're like,
it's like, it's okay. Today was a bad day.
Today was a bad day. The nose came off a little better, but bro, you're saying exactly what we talk about here. I wish we had the magic to just take that artist out of its head and see it from a whole perspective, and they would be like, holy shit.
Just share it. Don't be scared. Share it.
But the process for them to get out of that,
And then it's like, it builds like, oh, well, what if no one likes it? What if, like only 20 people did? And it's like, oh, like, you start to like, you get insecure, you start to not believe. It becomes a snowball.
Yeah.
You like consume it, and you allow it to overthink. You allow it to like just dwell, and you bring that home, and then that turns into, something else. And then it's like, you can snowball it into like bigger problems, or you can snowball it into better problems. It's one or the other direction.
I think it takes
mindset.
Well, it takes time for a person to be like, oh, that post didn't do too bad or too good. Oh, fuck it. Well, the next one will. Where, like you said, another person would be like, fuck, why is it not getting these likes? They start thinking about it. Like, what could I do this? How could I do that? Where you could just say, forget that post. Let's see what the next one does.
Yes. Yeah. And it's mindset, and it's like not taking it personal, not allowing to like dwell on it. Like you said, every day it's a different day. Start scratch. Don't think like the last 2 posts did bad, so there's no reason for me posting today. You still got to do the work. You still got to show up. You still got to put it out there. And it just takes one, and it's probably the one that you think is going to do the least. Like, you're like, I don't even want to post this. You put it out there,
it's fucking
and
crazy
it
how
fucking does the best. Like you put your phone down, you look at it, and it's like, it does the best.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what's crazy? I'm running a live contest right now where I'm giving a full day tattoo, and they have to watch my lives, and I give away a ticket, right?
Oh yeah.
So prior to starting the campaign, I was just telling everybody about it. I'm going to do this live. I'm gonna give away a free tattoo. And I had a conversation with one of my clients, and I said, "Man, I'm gonna show ticket number 2 today. Okay, you think you want to show it today?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Bro, I've been talking about this throughout my whole thing. You haven't seen my post?" He goes, "No, I haven't. It hasn't been showing."
Yeah.
And then another artist was listening, and I said, "Look, see, this is a good example. You guys, I'm directing this to my artists, right?" I said, "You follow me, so you know about this. Not only do you see it on in person that I'm setting up for this and I'm talking about this, so you know about it. You see it on my posts, right? And so you know about this. But my collector, who also follows me, and had the opportunity to see this, but Instagram didn't show it to him that much.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he didn't even know about this, and I was out there, guys. I'm gonna give out a full day session, right? And I said, "See, you knew about this, and I was doing it here at the shop and on social media. Yet the clients that are not living here daily, working here, they didn't see it. So that's why you have to be even 10 times more content, so that they can actually see the stuff. So that's an analogy of them, posting their work. Post a lot of stuff, their work. Give a little bit of your personal life, your thoughts, maybe show your face every once in a while, and you'll see that all those, now you're talking about 4 creative content.
Makes a difference.
That can get to that person. Maybe one of those is going to reach them.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't understand the how Instagram doesn't really show all our things, and in our mind, we think we oversaturate. Do you believe in oversaturation?
I think you could do too much. I think it's possible. I think there's like to where you become spam. I've seen people where they become spam, and it's like to the point where I don't want to follow you or interact with you.
We just skip the stories.
Yeah. No, like if they have like I think there's a healthy amount of stories. You know, if you have like anywhere, you know, 2 to 10, that's healthy. But if you have like 30, 40, like a lot, you know, like to where it's like you're not even seeing a dent when you're clicking it, like people are gonna get bored of it. So I think there's a healthy amount. Same thing, just like posting. If you post like 10 times a day, it's too much. It becomes a commercial. It's spam. But if you do like 2 to 3, I think that's healthy. And I think like another like hack for tattooers or anybody is like you can turn one post into like 4 or 5. You know, it's not just the end product. It's like, this is what I'm gonna do today. It's a story. Like, this is my station setup. It's like you peeling off the stencil. You know, like some people, the stencil peel off is better than the actual tattoo.
Yeah, I know.
And then you can do the actual, like a couple lines, show the process, and then boom. And it's like now you have a whole entire day of entertainment that you can share and educate and show people in stories and in posts. Or you could do like the swipe, like, you know, and make it like 10 pictures and swipe carousel.
One of the ones that you posted that I emulated the other day, I was like, that's so smart. He just recorded yourself printing out the paper and talking motivational stuff.
Yeah. So,
and I'm pretty sure that one did good for you.
Yeah, that one did really good. And it's crazy because it's like same thing. You see tattoos every day. And in our head, we think like people are only following us for the tattoos that we do. But if you see the same thing every day, as amazing as it is, it becomes boring. You know, and it's like Japanese, like, you know, I'm going to do a koi fish, a dragon. Like when you first find me, it's, oh my God, you're fucking amazing. And then it's like, you do the same shit every week. So they want to hear the story. And it's like, hey, check it out. I did that video and I just kind of made it. And I was like, check it out. This guy found me through a promotion. He's from Arizona. He's flying out here. He's going to do 2 days back to back. I'm going to show you the process. And this is how it goes down. And so now I'm entertaining people. I'm sharing that people are willing to travel. And it's building like a demand, an urgency, exclusivity, deeper of like, wow, like I understand. I want to get tattooed because people want what other people have, like human nature, you know. And now it's like if people are coming from out of state to come get tattooed by this guy, I live down the street. I should go get tattooed by this guy. And so it's just sharing that awareness where it's like, to me, it might just be another day, you know?
Yeah.
But to someone else watching, they're living curiously through me, and they're like, whoa, like, that's crazy. People travel to get tattooed.
Yeah.
Like, I travel for vacation and to go eat, but now it's like people travel to get tattooed, and it's smart.
I was hearing some
opening a whole new world for them.
Yeah, I was hearing some place that foodies, you know, there's a culture in foodies.
Yeah.
They travel just to go try a restaurant.
Yeah, to go eat.
You know? So there is... we got to open our minds that there is collectors, we call collectors, that'll pay and fly to get tattooed and they'll bounce back.
Absolutely.
You know?
That guy that came from Arizona, same thing. He's a collector. He's flown to Miami. He's did 3 days in a row. He has an appointment in Vegas. And then he's like, and so for me, I'm like, I'm just thankful that you chose me. Like, you could have went anywhere. Like, I ain't shit, but you chose me. So it's like, I'm going to make sure.
But you are shit though. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So it's like,
you know, but I like that you did it in that context. Where you showed a little bit more of you. And because if you would have just posted that 2-day back piece that you did or whatever, no one would know. They would have just been like, it's just another tattoo from a guy from Upland, you know? But you gave it context where you just gave it more depth and you told a story. And that's one. And I learned from you, bro. I'm be honest.
Thank you.
Because I did one the other day too where I'm like, well, I'm going to do that. So I put the tripod and I filmed myself. And then I had my client said, hey, record me at your perspective, you know? And then so I was going to talk about it, but I used a voice of this one trending thing. So
that works.
I'll do another one, but you motivate me for that. So thank you.
I'm thinking about how to do it.
And then it's like even the small things, how we spoke about, like if someone's with you all day, like take them out, like grab some food. So same thing for my travelers. We're right here next to Ontario Airport. It's 10 minutes. So I even tell them, like, if you need to, I could pick you up when you land and like drop you off. Or if you're at an apartment, like I could pick you up. If you're at like a hotel down the street, I could pick you up. We'll get tattooed. We'll grab food. I'll grab you some food before you go home, and I'll drop you back off. So you're saving some money on Uber and all that. And then it's like, if usually I try to time it too to where it's like, okay, we'll finish by 6 so you can catch a 8 or 9 o'clock flight. We'll finish up and I'll drop you back off. It's on the way home for me. I'll drop you back off.
Or that's a very good. Or you can even pay an Uber for somebody.
Yeah.
Because if, you know, they're getting tattooed somewhere where they're going to be drained after, just pay for an Uber for them to get home. Say, hey, you know what? Get dropped off.
Yeah.
I'll pay for an Uber. They're going to be like, what?
So
I'll pay for an Uber. And then it's an expense for your business.
And and the same thing, data, I'm like, how was all your other experiences? And it's like,
bam,
you topped it.
You topped it.
You topped it, man. I never had
just
this.
even buying lunch is topping it, because most, from what I hear, I mean, maybe they do, right? But I like to think that is an extra that we do provide for our, sometimes maybe they're on a diet or whatever, but whatever. But just finding that extra edge and offer it, you know what I'm saying?
And it's like, if they're willing to pay the extra $1 to come see me, what's the extra $1 for me to take care of them?
One thing I wanted to add, but it just seemed like, we have our car wash guy that comes. I'm like, I'll wash their car, you know what I'm saying? And it'll be on me if they're paying the full day rate. It just hasn't happened yet, but it's a thought, you know what I'm saying?
We did it.
We did it a couple times?
Yeah, we did it a couple times, but the car wash guy schedule was off.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, that was the problem.
Crazy story, too. It's like at our old shop, it was like industrial as well. And we had an assistant that helped us before. And he used to do, or he did, he was a detailer. So he worked with the city. So he detailed like buses and cop cars and stuff like that. But he just got paid like regular. And I'm like, dude, you could just be a detailer like on your own, make $200, $300, $400. But he was like mindset, just like, oh, like that's a lot of work, this and that. And I was like, well, I have dudes that come here and they spend money and they're here all day, and you're helping me here. Can I offer them for you to detail their car for like an extra $200? Because they're sitting here all day. Their car's in the parking lot. Like if they're gonna drop $1,000, like what's $200 to get their car detailed at the same time? And he was killing it, and we were doing good. And then the plaza was like, you guys are taking too much water, and they turned off our water. But we were doing good to where it was like, it was almost becoming a second business, like to where he was considering quitting and just being a full-time like shop helper / detailer.
It's
like
the
crazy.
same principle, service based, what we were talking about earlier.
Supply and
demand, be a great service. And just in mobile detail, because I helped my brother-in-law start one. What I realized is like anybody can wash a fucking car.
Yes.
It's how can you save that person time?
It's the time, everything.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they come and wash my car here, I'm making money and my car's getting washed. I don't have to go and pass through a car wash and wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm in a sense, I'm paying for time saved.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's what a lot of people see now. Like they don't want to spend time.
Time is important.
So how do you think we can apply that theory or into a tattoo where it's time saved?
I'm big on saving time. I'm a machine, like when it comes to work. So yeah, like I'm very prepared. Like scheduling is everything. Like for me, like my hack is like make a schedule, like and follow it like to a T. And by doing that, it allows me to balance my whole entire life. Like I have time for my wife, my kids, my health, my work. 8 hours of sleep. Like I'm taken care of, and it's like, and everything is smooth. And the more smooth it is with the schedule. And so by doing that, it's like I design ahead of time. A lot of times it's like they trust me, and I know like if I'm doing, usually it's sleeves, legs, it's big pieces. So I already know how big I want to do it. I know it's going to look good. So I don't need to actually wait for them to like decide on the size. So I have like my design, I have my stencil, I have my station, everything ready by the time they walk in.
Nice.
So they're in the chair within 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It's like, hey, what's up? This is what we got going. Are you down? Bathroom, whatever. We stick it on, draw any little background. You ready to do it? Let's do it. And their 4 hours is like a full 4 hours right there. And if it's like a longer, usually I do 4 or 5 hours. I do like 2 half days. Boom, boom. So 4 hours, finished. I have like a 30-minute break. Helper like breaks down, sets up. I eat real quick, clean up. Next person's in. Another 4 hours.
Is there a reason why you don't do full 8 hours?
One is like financial. There's more people that can afford half day than a full day.
Got it.
2 is a lot of times like by hour 6 they start to like struggle, and with like Japanese is a little bit more heavier. I know realism, you can build it up. It's softer, and it's I don't think it's as traumatizing. So I know people who do realism, it takes time, and I don't think you should rush it, and you build it up. Whereas mine's more like traditional. It's like, wow, we're just going
hard
in.
lines,
hard
saturation,
in, black,
skins.
solid, and so it's like
interesting.
I can cover a lot more ground versus someone doing realism. Like you could do a full forearm in 8 hours, whereas I could do it in 4 or 5. and it still be like not jeopardizing any quality.
No, yeah, I totally agree.
So I think just depending on styles, but I'm able to knock out that amount. If they want to do a full day, I'll do it.
Right.
But usually I just do 4, and I do a lot of big pieces. So it's like, we're not gonna finish today, and it's layering, and so it's like, we'll knock out the half day. We'll do it consistent once a month or twice a month, whatever works financially or with your time, and we just base it off that. And I usually try to do that. I'll do like 2 days or 2 people, like half day, or I'll just do a half day, and I'll try to balance it out so I don't burn out. And then I still tout like 5-6 days a week.
So for you, do you say like, okay, it's been 5 hours, we're done, or do you?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can kind of like time it to where I don't just like cut off in a weird spot. Like it looks like it's supposed to be finished, and then we just keep adding on to it. I can do it like sometimes I'll do like full outline, or sometimes I'll do it like realism style, or like I'll tattoo the Japanese stuff in a realism way. So I'll like a Xerox machine,
right?
And then sometimes it's like less painful, doing like full outline, full background, full color, and it's like, how it is when you move an area and then come back, it hurts more. So
it's interesting that you brought it up that way, because when my client that I was telling you about the biomech, he has full Japanese, and I would tell him, how long did that client take on that? And it was super fast,
Yeah.
And then I was like, holy shit, am I overcharging him? Because but I realized that
different.
When you just told me this, it's just a different approach. We're doing a cover up first of all. We're doing opaques. Opaques are like colors, so you have to, and they're lighter.
Yeah.
So you have to saturate them a certain way.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's a cover up. So then I was like, no. Trust the process. Trust the process.
I agree.
But sometimes you think like that,
And I share like same thing. Like I share my strengths. I think like everyone should share their strengths, so like what you bring to the table. And like mine, it's speed. Like I know I can knock out a lot of stuff, and you're going to save your time. You're still going to go home and have dinner. It's not going to be midnight. So I share that, like, you're going to get your time with me. We get a lot. This is the amount of work I get done in this amount of time without rushing. It's not about speed. It's about, this is just my natural. But I share it just so when someone's doing their research and they see like, here's a sleeve from him and here's a sleeve from Steve, and they don't know anything, but at least with mine, it says like, well, this took 4 sessions and a total of 20 hours.
I did see that post.
So at least it lets them know, like, this is what I'm looking at in the chair, amount of time. Like, it's not going to take me a whole year. We can knock it out in 2-3 months. Yeah. And it lets people kind of know like what they're signing up for.
Gauge their commitment.
Yeah. So.
Hell yeah, bro. That's valuable stuff, guys. This guy has so much information. Not only can he I mean, you want to be part of our podcast, bro?
Join.
Bro.
I beat the interview.
I think you took my job, bro.
Nah.
No, but
time is important.
It is, bro. It is for a lot of clients. And again, from us, we approach it in a realism way. So we just tell our clients, look, it's going to be a full day gone for you, because, not only do we like to design in front of them. Yeah. So we also explain that in our content. And then we actually tattoo it for 8 hours. Yeah. So they'll be out of here by 10 to midnight.
You're looking at 10 to 12 hours, like normal for most black and gray realism. Yeah. And it's like, even our guys, it's like, it takes time. It's a lot more work. Layers. And I never say like, you guys need to be on my level, because I know it's different type of art. Yeah. And it's like, I understand that. And I never like compare myself to others.
And I'm glad you're explaining it to that, because a lot of clients don't understand that. They're like, oh, well, this other guy said he'll do it in 4 hours.
Yeah. And I tell people that too. Like when we talk about pricing, like I'll explain, like if it's not like on social media, if they actually come in, I'll explain to them like, the person who has the cheapest hourly doesn't necessarily mean it's cheaper. Right. Just throwing out numbers is like, if you were to get a koi fish from me, say this guy told you $100 an hour, but it takes him 10 hours. That's 1,000. But for me, I say I do it in 4 hours and it's 400. Like, or if I say I was 200 an hour, it's double the price. So with me, it would be, I could do it in 4 hours for 800. So you're actually saving money, you're saving time, you're saving pain, and you're getting more, but my hourly is double.
You're just letting them know the benefits of your approach.
They're just choosing based on the ticket price. Yeah. And they don't know what goes into it. Yeah. And so it's like different. And it could be like experience. This guy could be 1 year tattooing. I could be, 10 years.
You already know how to layer those.
You don't know like how things are, Not saying the 10 years better than the 1 year, but it's like there's a lot of different variables, so you can't just base it off the price. And same like how we were talking about just being like honest to your clients. I always tell them like, if you don't choose us, that's cool. Like there's always going to be someone cheaper or more expensive, someone better, someone available sooner. Like it's all up to you.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Again, you have all this dope information, bro. We always like to ask our guests some questions. You know, we have some in mind, but you also gave us a tip on some cool questions we can ask you. So we're gonna turn that. We're gonna be the first one. First one we like to ask is like, where do you see the tattoo industry in the future?
So right now we're like in a weird, transition stage. I think where like you see a lot of new people coming in. It's changing. You see like artists who are like extremely good, and then you see a lot of like new up and comers, like little tiny tattoos, fine line. A lot of people are starting to enter because there's so much knowledge everywhere. I think a lot of it's going to have to do with building an experience, building clientele, like one person at a time, one conversation at a time, and that connection is what's going to make the difference between just choosing based off the art. And I think it's just going to grow. There's going to be more people doing it. It's going to be like getting your hair done and your nails done. Barbershops. It's going to be everywhere. So what's going to make you different?
Do you feel like there's going to be a point where it's too saturated, where it's a lot of people are going to end up, I guess, quitting in a way, and only the few are left?
I think the strong will survive.
Yeah.
The people who are like actually doing it for the right reasons, they'll be fine because they're doing it for the right reasons. The people who are doing the shortcuts, the people who are just doing it for money, the people who are doing it for like the quick come up or like to be cool, like it will fade. When like times slow down or it gets hard, they'll quit, which is why like the people who are doing it for the right reasons aren't going to fall off. They're not going to quit. They'll follow through. So just like barbershops, like there's people who are dying and there's people who are killing it. Yeah. Like can't even book with them. So it's like it's gonna be the same.
Okay, so that was one of the questions we usually ask. Now let's get to one of the questions you told us to ask.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Who are your top 3 artists, bro?
I have a hard time with that.
You asked it.
I wasn't ready. Yeah, but there's so many different styles, so I feel like I could take away from each style and then like these guys in black and gray are like the top guys. These guys are, the top for Japanese. Maybe so
one of each.
Man.
Or maybe what are the top 3 artists that just like you tend to look for on Instagram for inspiration? Or something?
I'll just go off of like the people I've gotten tattooed by, just because I admire their work. I have like a collection, some pretty solid people. I have my neck done from a guy named Victor Chill. He's from Singapore, Spain. Amazing. I like his color work. I like his neo-traditional style. And this is actually the only color tattoo I have on me. Oh, cool. And then I have like a little bit of yellow on my hand, but it's like it doesn't count. Then Fred Flores, he does black and gray realism. He's a beast. He did like majority of my forearm portraits. He does like amazing work. Same thing. It's like, what's going to make you different, And everyone has like their fingerprint of how they do something. Even if someone did it, it would be completely different. I just liked his work. Great artist. So I was drawn to him. Great experience. Same thing, everything. I had 0 complaints. I was happy the whole way through. He did like 3 or 4 of my tattoos. And then I got my hand done from another big name guy. His name is Justin Hartman. He's a neo guy as well, and he was in Arizona, but now he's in San Diego. He's kind of like a traveler, but they have like a top studio too. So it's like all like legends, like big name people. They all have over like 100, 200, 300,000 followers. So they're just inspirational to me. What they built, not only their art, but what they were able to build.
Do you pick their brain when you're getting tatted? Or just respect their...
I kind of like go with it. They're all different. Everyone has different personalities. This guy, he didn't really speak English. He was Spanish. So he spoke a little bit. He was more artist. I just kind of like let him do his thing. Fred was really cool. I got tattooed when I was probably like in my 4th or 5th year. Okay. So I was just like downloading. And like in hindsight, like looking back, I was just like, staring at everything he did to the point where he was probably like, man, like, this fool, like if I could go back in time, I'd say sorry, like my bad, man. But I was just like watching everything, just downloading, like this is how he does it, this is what he does, this is his method, like, and he was super cool about it too. He said like encouraging, nice things, like, and he had no idea like if I was good or amazing, he was just super cool. That's dope. Same thing with the guy that did my hand. He was like nonchalant. He was like a very quiet guy. He's like, you want it? Cool. Here, okay, like let's do it. Yeah, like just he just went with the flow. Not too much of a talker, so not too much picking. But like I kind of feel it out. If they want to talk, I'll talk. If they don't, I'm cool with being quiet, like on my phone.
Nice. FK irons or Bishop?
I started out FK. Like I had coils from FK.
Okay.
I loved them. Amazing machines. I had like 2 or 3 of them. Then I went to I think the Direct. I had that, and I started doing cartridges with them, where I had like the tube still, and then I had the cartridges. I did that for a while. Same like every year or two, like you switch it up, keep up with technology, and then I ended up going with Bishop, and I have the wand. That's like my daily, and I got the 5.0. The liner, and I use it for everything. I use it for lining, shading, color. I use it for it's like my daily all day. And I'm like religiously like in love with it. Like I don't even have like a backup machine. It's just like all day. I just run it, So I would go with Bishop.
Nice. And lastly, what tips would you give a young artist that wants to get into the tattoo industry?
If you're trying to get in and make it, it's like what you put in is what you're gonna get out. And if you don't love it, if you're not obsessed with it, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna get the results that you think. Like nothing just happens on accident. Everything is earned. Everything is hard work. People aren't just gonna come to you. Like you said, you have to go to people. You have to show people you're trustworthy. You're valuable. You have something to offer them. You have to practice every single day. I'm been tattooing for over 12 years, and I draw every day. I post or make some sort of content every single day. I'm practicing every single day. I tattoo 5 or 6 days. Since I started tattooing, the longest I've ever had off was 3 days for the past 12 years. Besides like a family vacation, I've only had 3 days off, maybe a handful of times. I work every weekend. I put in the work. You might not like me, and that's cool. You might not like my work, but you got to give me that I work. That's what I tell people. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like Japanese work, but if you were to see me, you should at least just be he puts in the work. He puts in the work. I don't like him, but he works hard. He's a hard worker.
Damn.
But you got to work if you want it, because there's always going to be someone better than you. And there's so many amazing artists. I'm just, for the amount of work I put in, I feel like I barely scratched the surface. I feel like I should be so much farther. You see some people who barely try and they're amazing. And I try hard, and I'm barely breaking the surface of fitting in with people. So I just, what you put in is what you're going to get out. And
so where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Retired?
Finally getting some weekends off. Which in 5 years I want to retire.
Yeah. I want to slow down naturally. Spend more time with my family, spend more time with my kids, take care of my health. But I tattoo not just for the money. I do it because I enjoy it. It's like my therapy. It's part of it. When you're tattooing, every tattooer probably feels that way. This is nothing else matters but the tattoo. You're in the zone. All your problems are gone. So it's therapeutic, and you care about it. It's like a baby. You see it grow. You see yourself develop. So for sure, just slowing down. I want to taper it off. Say 5 years each year, taking 1 extra day. So I'll go to 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, and helping out, teaching, making sure everyone at the shop is happy, taken care of, teaching some new people, changing some lives, and putting people in a good position to live their dream.
That's good, bro. Fucking awesome.
The only message I have is if I could do it, you could do it. I'm not special. I have a background, a criminal background. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the most artistic. I just put in the work, and it's if you put in the work every day, eventually you figure it out.
Yeah. Nice.
Perfectly said, man. That's dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have to get you in and number 2.
Round 2, part 2.
Yeah. Get into more deep stuff,
Hell yeah.
I'd love to go check out your spot if you welcome us,
You're welcome. You guys can come hang.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Upland, how far is Upland? No, I'm just kidding. I don't go down the west anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. You want to close it out or you want to close it?
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to this awesome interview with a shop owner, a tattoo artist, motivator. Check out his podcast. It's We'll put it on the link below. Golden
State of Mind.
State of Mind podcast.
I love that name.
Follow his shop in Upland,
Golden Triangle.
Golden Triangle. So you see the theme there. And also, if you guys just do us a favor, and we don't do any ads right now. We just want us to drop knowledge to you guys. So if you guys can just share this with somebody, man, share it with another artist that you know. Just share it to somebody that maybe wants to think about getting into the industry. It would help us a lot. So we appreciate that. And on the next one, we out.